100 bits, dude. Oh, the story with Bosco? I could tell that story again real quick. For those of you guys who don't know, long story short, I came very close to dying in the infantry. In fact, the doctor said that I was basically on death's door, and I was super close to dead. And it wasn't from something like an IED or getting shot or a vehicle rollover or an explosion or anything like that. It was heat stroke. Nothing big and fucking crazy like some overseas injury. It was really serious heat stroke. We were doing a 10-mile march, and we were about 500 feet, 600 feet from the finish line. And what happened was, I knew that there was a problem because I had a liter of water, or a quarter of a gallon, and I was done within the first mile, and I sweat so fucking heavy. And then about halfway through, at about the 5 or 6 mile mark, I stopped sweating altogether. And I was like, this seems like a concern. I'm still very warm, but I'm no longer sweating. And anyways, so we were walking along, and I don't remember anything. I don't remember the march at all. But apparently at about the 9.4 mile mark, I asked my supervisor if I could drink some of his water, and he said yeah. Or he like offered me his water. He saw that I looked really fucked up, so he gave me his water bottle, and I couldn't figure out how to open the fucking water bottle. I like held it upside down because my brain was cooking, so I just gave it back to him and kept walking. And about 500 feet away from the finish line, I just fell on my face, literally face first, foaming at the mouth, totally unconscious. So they took off my my vest and my helmet and my backpack and my flak vest and my gloves and all the rest, and were trying to get me back online. I guess I stood up, and the fucking idiot that I am, I was like, I'm fine. And they were like, no, you're not. And I was like, I want to finish the march. I can see the finish line right there. And they were like, I really fought them. So they were like, Jesus, okay. So I got up and started walking again, and I got another 10 feet and fell on my face again, comatose. So my supervisor flagged down some random guy who was driving on the street in his truck and said, you need to bring him to the base hospital right now, which was about half a kilometer away, or half a mile away rather. So they, Akawak, it was a real life Akawak. No, I cannot walk. So I fell on my fucking face. They load me into this, truck, and I guess the guy was like shaking me and like slapping me and trying to get me to stay awake, and he could not get me to stay awake. He couldn't get, every time he'd like bring me back online, I'd pass out again immediately. And when they got me to the hospital, which was, a 1 minute and 30-second drive, I was throwing up all over myself and like aspirating my vomit into my lungs. So I didn't know this until afterwards, but I guess they called a code, it was called like a code. It was a code red or something like that, which basically means they vacated the hospital. All soldiers who were there for like their physiotherapy or their fucking getting their, whatever blood work done or whatever, they were all told to leave. And it was because they didn't want my friends to be there when I died. I found out afterwards that it was literally because they didn't want other soldiers to be there, especially if they were there for therapy or whatever. They didn't want them to be there when I died. They didn't want my friends to have to deal with that. So they wheeled me into the emergency room, and I guess my core temperature was 108 Fahrenheit or 109 Fahrenheit. And I was done. The doctor said that when I came in, he was pretty sure that my story wasn't going to have a happy ending. And I had what's called severe onset rhabdomyolysis, or the severe necrotization of my internal organs, meaning that when your body gets to that temperature, when your body gets to that heat, it literally starts cooking your organs. So both of my kidneys and my liver have degraded so severely that for the rest of my life, I can never set foot in a hot tub or a steam room because the heat will literally kill me. I start to feel incredibly sick if I'm even outside for more than 30 minutes at a time because my body can't process heat anymore. And so they had to pump 6 liters of fluid into me through both arms. I've never seen it before. I had an IV going into both arms. And the first person I saw when I woke up was this guy that we'll just call Doc, because that was what we all called him. We just called him Doc. And when I came online, they finally brought me back. It was really weird seeing all these like super concerned military officers. Normally they're all hardcore and fuck you, right? They all were looking at me really, really concerned, and I just said like what the fuck happened, and they're just staring at me. And I remember Doc. I looked up at Doc, and he said, hey man, hey Milton, you doing okay? And I said, I remember I just looked at him and I said, am I okay? I'm like, am I all right? And he said, yeah, you're okay. And I said, and he said, what happened? And I guess I got really concerned, and I was like, was I shot? Have I been shot? And he looked at me and was like, no, you fucking idiot. We're in Manitoba. How the fuck would you get shot? How would you get shot? We're in Manitoba. And I was like, oh, okay. So, anyways, he was the dude who had like worked really hard to bring me back online, like to get me back from the fucking, the beyond. And shot by the sun. Yeah, right. And anyways, fast forward 3 years. I start playing GTA roleplay on a server called State of Emergency, SOE. And I'm playing for a few months, and there's this one cop that I interact with, and we have a lot of funny interactions, a lot of back and forths and blah, blah, blah. One day I go to his channel and I was like, oh, hey man, just popping in to say hi, blah, blah, blah. And he says, hey, question for you. Were you in the army? And I was like, yeah. And he said, were you in Manitoba? And I said, yeah. And it was the fucking Doc. It was the fucking Doc, still actively serving as a combat medic in the infantry, just so happens to play GTA roleplay, just so happens to be on the exact same server as me, and we just so happen to fucking cross paths. It's so fucking nutty. It's so fucking nutty. What is I'm gonna see if I can find his channel for you guys. I hope he has it on his Twitter. Yes, he does. This is his channel for anyone who wants to know. This is his channel right here. Twitch.tv/Bosco. If you guys go in and if you go in and say like, thanks for saving Milton. First of all, he's such a fucking humble dude. He'll just say, oh, I didn't do anything major. I was just there, or some shit like that. Cause he'll never, Bosco, it was Bosco. For anyone who knows Bosco, it was fucking Bosco. Bosco saved my fucking life, man. It's crazy. So yeah, Bosco is an excellent dude who I'm very lucky to know. And he's a current serving military member, and he recently had to go away for work. You guys can probably imagine what that means. And I think he just got back, or he's going to be coming back soon. So very, 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 very proud of the guy. Very happy to know the guy. Really, really solid dude. Yeah, so that's the Bosco story. It was fucking nuts, man. It was fucking nuts. Oh, whoa, Kiki Chanel. Can I go down this?